So yes, a lot of frames and mirrors go overlooked. People pass them by for one reason or another, that there's not glass, there's brokenness, the frames are outdated. Is there such a thing? But I absolutely love running across mirrors and frames that I can envision painting, giving them a new look, and getting them back into somebody's home as beautiful home decor. Okay. Other than seeing my ring light and my messy shop, what is wrong with this mirror? What's wrong with it? I guess I have never, y'all, I don't think I've ever sold gold. This is plastic. It's not old. It's made to look old, y'all. And right there's the culprit. It is broken. I could fix it. Do you have to fix it? No, you don't. Just painting it, giving it a new color will give it a new outlook of being older than it is. Once you touch it, it'll give you the look. You'll know, but it'll give the look of it. So it's just like a hard resin material, but it's a beautiful detailed frame that's hidden with all that gold paint. So some of the things I do here on the channel might seem silly, but I think these are protectors. I don't think they were meant to be left on, just my personal opinion. So I'm going to take all this stuff off, and I must have hit, so they apparently intended them to stay, but I didn't want them there, so I tried to sand down as much as I could. That's really good adhesive. But if I can take the mirror out and make it easier to paint this frame, that's what I'm going to do. So I am going to try a little bit to sand this detail. We'll see how that goes. Because I know that's the part that likes to chip off when you try to paint it because it's so smooth. I sanded as much as I possibly could. Now I'm going to do a nice coat of shellac on this because this is just plasticky resin. So there's nothing for paint to grab onto. It's just going to be sitting on top of it. So that's where the shellac is nice because it'll help bond that paint. And brushing it on, there's so much detail on this. I tried my best to get everything that I could possibly get sanded. One of the fun things about Sweet Pickins milk paint for me is I get to make my own concoctions. So I'm picturing a pale yellow. So they have the new Bespoke collection by Jamie Ray. I'm going to do Hollandaise. I'm going to do 2 of those. I got a lot of detail that it's going to be in. And then I'm going to take the Antique Ironstone, which is a creamy, almost tan, and I'm going to add that in to it. And then we'll see if it's the color I want. If not, while I'm still mixing, I'll mix up, put some more of the Antique Ironstone in there, but I want to see what that looks like. I'm just looking for an old-timey yellow. Oh, no, I think I might want a little bit more, maybe half, while I'm still in the process so I don't get too many lumps. Yeah, sometimes when you're mixing it up and you're adding in, you get lumps. So, yes. Just a nice, soft, buttery yellow. Okay, we've set up a bit. Still a very pretty color. Oh, yes. Just a light, very pale yellow. Lots and lots of detail. This is one of those that has the big old detail gouge that you kind of have to lift up your frame to get it in there. You think you're just pecking and hidden on the sides. It's like trying to find the plug behind the couch. You're just not getting it. Oh my gosh, I'm loving on that, that mixture. Oh, I hope it dries as pretty as I'm hoping. Think of the color. I think it's amazing. Oh, so amazing. So your paint's been sitting, so we need to stir it up. Can't wait to see what it looks like when we get, probably, I'm thinking 3 coats. I'm thinking 3 coats. Kind of like white. It's a light color, so. Oh, beautiful color. We need to get it sealed in. Everybody looks good, well behaved. So, gonna seal it in with some Weather Defense clear coat. So it's like, okay, what wax do I use to go, like, is aging enough? But there's all those beautiful details. So I think I'm going to go in with the antiquing, which is a little bit browner. I think it really goes with this concoction that I made. Okay, just going for it. I sealed it in, so it's not like life-threatening or anything. Definitely doesn't look like a cheap resin mirror anymore, that's for sure. Okay, let's see what it does. Oh, yes. Okay, I made the right decision. Okay. Cracks and all the things that yummy milk paint does. Made them amazing. See? Duh. Oh, amazing. Empty frame, culprit, broken, culprit. There's no glass. There's no glass. There's nothing behind it. But it is wooden. It has multiple layers of beautifulness. So one of the things I look for when I'm out thrifting is a general size. Not necessarily the smaller sizes. It always seems like the bigger sizes. But glass. If you can find a cheap plastic frame in a thrift store for a couple bucks and it still has the glass, pick it up. Oh, hello, beautiful, broken down, perfectly imperfect frame. Yes, people sometimes, those of us probably watching the channel, can see past the brokenness. Let me share with you my find. So yes, finding a plain frame that has glass that actually fits this. That is a God wink moment. I call those little prayers that you're asking and that get answered. It's always hard to clean in those details, and then you don't want to wait forever for the water to dry. But I like to save my backs as much as I possibly can. So always taking the time to, well, I say always, and there'll be that one time that I don't do it, but you know. Okay, the trend of the day is prepping things with shellac. All right. Should I try to sand that a little bit? Maybe first. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and get this all sealed in with shellac. Especially that really raw wood that kind of is letting it lift there. That should help seal it back down. Okay, we're getting that glass cleaned up. this frame, I know I'm not showing you what I'm putting inside until after I paint it, but we are going with red wagon. Still looking for that age of the piece. We got brokenness, so we might as well have some crazing and some chippiness, if all possible. Oh, I like what red wagon. Reminds me of an old barn, which might give you a hint on what paper I'm putting underneath here, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Set it off to the side, let it thicken up a little bit, and so we're just going to start painting. I have a little bit of a lip on the side, I got to remember. Anybody ever do that? You're like, oh, I forgot that I had a little bit of a edge to it. Whoops-a-daisy, right? That usually happens as soon as I put everything away and I'm digging in the trash hoping that there's enough paint left to be able to do it. Oh, you don't see the detail as much because it's not terribly raised, but it's there. You don't got much happening here. There's a little bit of crackle going on this. So hopefully with the second coat, it will help it along. And sometimes it's kind of hidden. I don't see it. And then I put that second coat on and then it does its amazing work. So, oh, yep, we're getting thick. I might need to. You can add a little bit of water. That's what I mean when I said, yeah, can't really save it too much until the next day because it will get thick. But yes, you can add a little water and get it thinned back down. Each paint acts differently. Sometimes some of them do that, so I don't know why. So it did wonderful. Look at the little crackles, chippiness going on. But I'm going to seal this in with some weather defense before putting in any waxes to deepen out and bring out that beautiful detail. My top coat is dry. So I'm going to be using some of the Homestead House Antiquing Wax. So this is the darker one. So we're going to get it right in there. Concentrating on the brush to get it into those details of those florals. And since I sealed it in with clear coat, it's not going to really change the color of the paint all too much. I think the color turned out wonderful. So you get a totally different look if you put it on without a clear coat. That's what gives it that old-timey look. So now I'm just going to I don't want to take a lot of it off, so I'm just gently rubbing on it. And I'm going to let it dry in those little crevices of the details. Any guesses on the red frame? Any guesses? Oh, it's the Highland. That beautiful, beautiful cow. Oh, beautiful with that beautiful red barn in the back, which motivates me to do red. Because, I mean, I like some of the greens in there, but I think the red is what makes that pop. So now I'm going to get my glass and then get the frame so we can see even better. Oh, I think that I centered it just fine. If we're going to cut off anything, we want to do a little bit of his feet. Perfect. So I'm just going to cut this out just around the glass. Making sure that I'm pushing down on the glass. I'm going to pop this with some white poster board from the Dollar Tree store. One, the white really helps pop your image. And two, I can decoupage it onto this piece. Okay, decoupage transfer gel. Yes, you can attach it to the glass too if you wanted to. Since I was going to be adding this anyway, I thought then, you know, someday if somebody, I hope not, wants to change out the image, it won't be attached to the glass. Okay, I'm going to mist my paper a little bit. Just balled up saran wrap. Not going to stress about wrinkles. Try to lift that back up, and next thing you know, you're ripping your paper, then you're even more sad. So I'll do the same thing on the other side. And take a brayer and make sure it's all adhered. I have a little bit of work to do on my frame, meaning I just need to take the tape off. And then I'm just going to take some sandpaper. There's always that hard, crusty edge where paint builds up from having tape. And just run that along that to take that off. Now we'll replace the glass. One more cleaning before putting the paper back on there. Okay, now we're going to flip the paper on. My favorite tool. And then we're going to back this. It's using some double stick tape. Using some contractor's paper to back it up. And then I just take sandpaper to set those edges. Do a misting of water to tighten up the paper. Gonna go ahead and get a hanger on here. How much do I have to go into? That's always the question. I try to center it. Eyelets from Amazon. Okay, 17 gauge wire to hang. Try to pull it nice and tight. And I know, this beauty speaks for itself. But there again, it's got brokenness. Some people can't see past the brokenness. There's no picture in it. They're holding the back on with tape. And I have a wonderful idea to mask the hidden. Oh, this is so pretty. Oh, geez, that's not even. Oh, that was a little. I'm glad that that tape didn't stick very well. And it's way too brittle to save, but I think I'm going to go ahead and clean that really gross glass up first. I just don't want my hands getting that dirty. I want to put everything back together. So while I'm cleaning, I might as well clean it all. I think this was one of the pieces. So whether they were in a basement, an attic, garage maybe. I mean, I hope somebody's house wasn't that dirty, but clean. So I don't know if there's anybody new watching when I'm talking about auctions and stuff. On our Journey channel is where I share us going to those and what's there. So my inspiration when I saw this, there was a beautiful sheet picture in a frame it was a longer frame. It wasn't identical. That had like a green hue to the frame. And I wanted it so bad and I lost out. So I don't win everything at auctions, y'all. Try my best, but you got to go within reason. But yes, so that is my motivation when I saw this. And I'm like, oh, I hope nobody else wants it. I hope I don't get outbid. You just never know. But please pop onto the Journey channel for behind the scenes of home decor in our house and in our yard and gardening and whatever else we have. And then one other video is usually some type of us doing some shopping. A lot of it's auctions, y'all. I don't give a shout out for that other channel enough, but okay, so let's let that dry. But while it's drying, I'm going to tape off this back area so when I paint it. I know you're all like, don't paint it. It'll be beautiful. It will. I hope. Okay, now that I have the back taped off, I'm going to go ahead and seal this all in. I'm going to brush on some shellac. There's spray. I'm just showing you another option. I'm using the shellac as my primer. I like shellac because it's a clear primer. So when you go to distress, it's not like white or gray or burgundy or red primer you're seeing underneath. It is the original color. And then usually with brushing it on, you get it a little bit thicker than spraying. So then you only have to do one coat. Even though this looks gorgeous, we still have to deal with the brokenness. And the paint will cover that up. So if I am doing a green and I'm doing dark, I have the image that I have in here has this color in it. I'm not showing you to the end. But I want to do some of the crackle. It's got all that little, all this yumminess right there. And I think that would be so pretty crackling. So we're just doing straight basil. And if you've not used Sweet Pickins milk paint, as you see, it is a powder. I think 2 will be plenty. And then you just mix it. This is just tap water, nothing special. So equal parts powder to equal parts water, room temperature. Okay, we're going to start putting our first coat on. I'm using a smaller angled brush because I want to be able to get into all that yummy detail. Painting right over the damage. I don't even know what to say about how fabulous I already think this green is. And that is only the first coat. So we're going to, there's some beautiful cracking going on. So I don't have to worry about so much getting into detail, but the smooth stuff, I need to go ahead and get a second coat on. Oh, that is just amazing. Amazing things are happening with this. Oh, this one did amazing crackles, crazy. So I'm going to get this sealed in with just a clear coat of Weather Defense. My favorite wax that pairs nice with basil is Jolie's black wax. Oh, so we're just going to go ahead and get it right on there. Whatever chips off, will chip off. I'm going to really work it into those florals up here. And there again, depending on if you sealed it in or if you didn't seal it in, is how it takes. Okay, shop cloth. Oh, my heart. Oh, how the wax just sticks in those details areas, gets into the cracks from the crazing. Oh my gosh. The way the paint takes unevenly. Big difference. Okay, you've all been patiently waiting to see what paper I'm going to be putting underneath that frame. It's going to be the black sheep. Oh, love, love, love that one. Okay, I need to have the glass though. That I do know. And then I also need the frame because of course the paper's way too big. But see, oh y'all. So yes, I need to adjust, keep adjusting. What we got going on here? I think that I don't want so much of that. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut my paper down to size already. Oh, no! Oh, perfect Nuken. There's an old word, right? Oh, you're going to be difficult, aren't you? You think you're going all good, and then you rip your paper. It's okay. So I'm going to be backing this with poster board, but I'm going to cut the poster board out the size of the, oops, don't lose my little boo-boo paper. That's why I'm like, okay, so I did a boo-boo up there. I can fix that because we're going to be gluing it to this board. Or you could adhere it to the glass, but I thought if somebody wants to change out the print, they can very easily. We're down just a little bit to make it easier to work with. Ever so slightly. Talk to it. Okay. Down. Gonna go ahead and drop in the glass. I just feel like I have to give it one more cleaning before I seal it up. And we're just going to drop in the print. And then the world's best tool. Oh. Okay, now I can take my tape off because we need to back this. But after you remove tape, you're going to have that buildup of that paint. So just take some sandpaper on that edge. Okay, now we're going to back this just using some contractor's paper and double stick tape to match the edge of the wood here in the back. Okay, so this one's a beast. This is a, y'all, look at shoulder to past almost my ankles. This is how big this thing is. There's no glass in this piece. Now I could take it to a glass shop and have them put glass in there. I do have another vision though. And there again, the beautiful trim has been broken off, and there are hacks. There's plenty of hacks of fixing, molding, trim work on frames, but I like the added character it gives a piece. So I know I'm not going to be reusing this hanging system, so we are going to go ahead and get that taken off. Okay, so let's see if I can lift this up and see if we can get this taken off, because I would like, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put something in there, and I would like it to inset a little bit deeper and not be so far back. So let's see if we can hammer this out. Okay, it's working. There you go. So I need to spend some time because the old glue on this is just flaking off as soon as I touch it. So I've scraped off as much as I can. So I'm going to take the sander just to get it done and over with and not have to deal with it. Now, the more you prep your piece, the better your end result it is. I've never had it not be worth it. So now I'm just taking some Dawn dish soap. I took the sander while I had the sander off because that's a really shiny surface, and I have dealt with it peeling. I like chippiness, but I don't want it all peeling off in one big clump. Okay, so this is a big frame, y'all. So I put it on my workhorses, and so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to spray it with some shellac. Going to give it a couple coats. That'll seal in anything in here. Help for paint to grab. I need to remember to do my sides because it has pretty deep sides there. So, yep, pallet wood is what I'm going to be using to make a huge sign. And it just so happens that from that to that, I found pieces that fit. Yay! I do have to cut them down, but that's not any big deal. So really, I just need to go in and make a mark, because once I get one of them cut down, then I can just make them match the others. Okay, I have them all done. They did fit after I cut them down, but I do need to do a little bit of sanding on them. Okay, so I'm going to use my Waverly concoction to even out, like you can tell where the palette was put together. I'm going to do both sides. Some of them have damage, but we'll see which one's the prettiest that can shine on the front when I'm done. I'll try to remember to link. I just did a video where I shared my recipe, so hopefully I'll try to remember to link that, so if anybody's interested in this wash that makes old wood look even older and a little bit more uniform. So we're going to start attaching the boards. I'm going to do some type-on glue. Start placing my boards. Okay, now I'm just taking a nail set, and any of the little sharp edges, I'm folding them over so there's nothing sharp. Okay, I took the time to tape off the palette board, so if I get messy with my paint, I won't spill anything on it. I'm going to do Classic White, the Flour Sack by Sweet Pickins. We are definitely looking for some chippiness, some crazing, just that old-timey paint, especially to go with all the imperfections of this frame. So I want to add some wax to this, but I need to seal in my white paint because I don't want it to look, I want it to stay white, But when I go to wax it, I don't want the wax to turn it brown, so I need to seal it in. Top coat dry. We're going to go in with aging wax. I don't want it to be terribly dark, but I do want it to match some of that palette wood that we stained with the Waverly concoction. Wax on, then wipe off. Whatever chips, chips. I'm not going to stress. Oh, there we go. It's as simple as that. This is a beast of a frame. So I got some more to do here. So I cricketed it out, carried away, bed and breakfast. The hard thing with the Cricut, and you have such a large, it only will cut out so big. So I'm going to kind of off center them, I think. I love the swirly letters that I found. So yeah, we'll just see how that works out. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm just going to see what it looks like. So I'm going to take some Mod Podge and seal in my edges. Hopefully it's a, you try to do the slats and you try to get the letters, and so, they're not going to be, some of them ended up right on a seam. So we'll make it work. Then as it dries, I'm going to go back over, this is DIY's White Swan with a stencil brush, very little on. And then just go do that motion. Get the letters colored. This is the moment where you just pray for the best in hopes that everything turned out okay. Not bad. Okay. I mean, not too bad. So I'm just going to seal it all in. DIY paint needs to be sealed in, so I'm just going to use some more Weather Defense. For the hanging system on this big old heavy beast of a frame, make sure it gets screwed into the frame, not into the palette wood. Okay, so this next piece, as you can see, yet again, is newer. It's got a beautiful back on it. It is Who Made You? Who Made You? Silverwood Productions, Little Rock, Arkansas. I have no idea, but it is newer. But it's that gold. And it doesn't have a ton of detail. The gold, there again, is just kind of hiding the detail. There's not a lot going on with the frame, so I can see why people may have passed it up. And it's large, so it's very large. And on the original, it was made to like hang this way. So I always like to give my buyers a couple options because not everybody has that space. And I'll share with you how to do that. So I felt like at this point of the video, you did not need to watch me tape and do another coat of shellac. There's really nothing to sand very well on this piece, so just layering it with some of the shellac out of the can with a brush. So massive mirror, I can imagine like above a buffet, above a sofa in a bathroom. So I'm not going to do like this huge, like, oh my gosh, big old bright color on it. I think I'm just going to keep basic white, and I'm going to use white swan. That way I can distress it and bring out some of that detail. You know, I'm like, you kind of have to envision like what would the buyer be and what would they want it to be, and like I don't really envision like too much chippiness on just bringing out some of the detail a different way than bringing out chippiness, because there's nothing broken on this. It's just a little bit outdated. Well, it's not even outdated, it's new. I'm sitting here looking at my white, very long frame going, I don't know, even with distressing, I don't think it's going to be very exciting. So I'm going to take some shellac and I'm going to seal the DIY paint in. Maybe this seems so boring to me because I have some fabulous cracking and crazing going on in my other projects that I just couldn't be satisfied. So I'm going to do Cheshire. Still looking for that cottagey to go for this frame, but this is a smaller scoop. If I'm not happy with my project, how is somebody else going to love it in my booth when I'm trying to resell it? So that's always my thought. It's just not going to be, oh, it's good enough, and I'm going to wax it. I didn't love it, so I'm not. It needs more character. It's got detail, but it just is, you know, there's just no curves and bends and all that. So I'm just trying to add more character to it. So at least I'm seeing character now. We've got crackles. And for some reason, when you put milk paint over another paint, even though you sealed it in, it will crackle right back down to that original. That's just how it works. So see, you can see where it just went right back down, which is perfectly fine because I think it adds character, personal opinion. So let's see. I think I'm going to wax right over this and not put a top coat. I'm still not completely happy with the light green that I picked. I like Cheshire, but it's just not wowing me yet. So we're going to go in with some antiquing wax, I think I'm going to use. Okay, I'm just going for it. I think that this is going to give it the look and more of an age than I was looking for. I mean, still some fun color, but and it's not quite as much. There you go. Yep. That's everything right there. Right there is everything. Yep, that's the money. So it just took that without spraying it in, which would kept that brightness, if you look at it as being bright, the brightness of that. So that's what we needed. We needed to age this frame, and I achieved it with the antiquing wax. Oh, whether you love it or not, I love it. The person creating it has to be the first person to love it. So this is what I mean when I said I do two hanging. So one on the short and then one on the long way, so that they have two different ways that they could hang it. So thank you so much for watching today's content. I hope that I gave you an idea for some old mirrors that might be a little bit outdated, some old frames, whether they're broken, whether they're missing glass. I hope I gave you some ideas. So thanks for watching today's video, and we will see you next time, guys, and you can see what we're up to. Bye.